Look at you now. Or maybe you overcame an obstacle that should have limited you in what you could accomplish, but you proved everybody wrong.
Look at me now. That is where you call us at 713-390-KRBE and you tell us an inspirational story about, you were set up for failure and you overcame it.
We love those kind of stories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's start with Amber at 713-390-KRBE. Good morning, Amber.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, tell us your story, Amber.
So I lived in Deep East Texas all of my life, and when I turned 16, I had this really bad accident. I had a knee injury, and the doctor prescribed some narcotics, and that kind of started my whole addiction process. But I was actually raised around nothing but addicts, really. My grandmother, bless her heart, was the only one that was like my rock in all of it. But, my parents, cousins, aunts, uncles, everyone was involved in some pretty bad habits. And I picked up on everything they did, everything that they knew how to make. I learned how to make. It was that kind of bad. And I'm here to tell you now that as of April of last year, I came and moved to Houston, uprooted myself from that environment. I came to a treatment facility down in Dickinson, and I have been clean and sober ever since.
I'm so happy to hear that. That's great.
Living in Houston. And, to be honest, even the drug dealer said I was never going to make it. I was the worst of all of his people that got drugs from him. He was like, you're never going to make it a day in rehab. You're never going to even survive your addiction. It was that kind of bad.
Wow.
And here we are today. I'm running a nonprofit that helps other addicts get out of addiction and into recovery, and I'm working with children with autism every day as a registered behavior technician.
I'm really happy to hear that. So many people think that, drug addiction is just somebody that's doing something shady in an alley or somewhere. It's prescription drugs. People get injured, they get hurt, and it's so difficult.
Were you able to help any of your family
painkillers.
members? Since you said a lot of your family members are going through this, were you able to take what you've learned and help them, or they want help?
The ones that I have had a couple reach out for help, but this disease doesn't care. The ambivalence sets in. It's like they'll tell you that, hey, I'm ready. Please come help me, pick me up. And within the next hour, they are back at their dealer's house trying to do something different because it was too much.
It knows no boundaries. It doesn't matter. You can be rich, poor. It doesn't matter what your ethnicity. It doesn't mean nothing. I mean, it affects everybody.
Amber,
and I'm so happy
question,
for you.
kind of along the lines of what Erica asked you. If you were raised in a drug-fueled environment and everybody around you was addicted to something and you were able to pull yourself out by coming here, do you still keep in contact with them if they are still in the environment and you don't want to even risk?
You just have to stay away.
Yeah, you don't want to risk.
I completely stay away. The ones that are clean and sober, and I can tell you too, my stepdad, he was also another rock. I left him out, but let me tell you though, my stepdad, I still stay in contact with him to this day. He is an amazing person. My grandmother, I contact her, but for the most part, no. Sadly, no. They understand that I'm here to live a self-directed life, and to live a better life than I was living down there. So they all love and support me, but no, I had to cut ties with everyone, block everyone in my phone that was a part of that life.
You can't have that around you.
Well, congratulations.
I'm glad that you're clean and sober and thriving, Amber. God bless you. Thanks for calling in with your story.
Thank you.
Continued
Thank you so
success
much.
to you. You're welcome.
Good luck.
Can I please tell everyone also really quick, if anyone else out there is struggling with addiction and you just don't know where to start, please visit my website, withintegration.org.
Wait, slow down. What was that?
Landing page.
What was?
It's with integration, like the word with and integration crammed together .org.
With
Withintegration.org.
With integration.
Withintegration.org. Okay. So that's like a starting
that'll
point
help
of how you
y'all
want to get
reach
clean.
me.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Love that.
Amber, thank you so much. Keep in touch, okay?
Thank you all.
All
Yes,
right, honey.
thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We're doing Look at Me Now here on the Roula and Ryan Show. It's where you tell us a story about not being able to come out of something, and then in the end, you succeed.
When your drug dealer is saying that stuff to you.
And your drug dealer's like, yeah, you're never going
Well,
to
he doesn't have your best interests at heart, that's for
your
sure.
money. Gabriella is up next, and it does also have to do, I understand, with drugs. Hi, Gabriella. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm about to cry. I love you guys so much, and it's taken me, I'm telling you, years to be able to go through the line and get in contact with you guys. I love you guys so much.
Oh, Gabriella, that's
Glad
so
you're on
sweet.
now,
Thank
especially for this
you.
segment.
Do you care to share with us?
Well, I lost my mom, my dad, and my sister within years of each other, and I turned to alcohol, and I wasn't a very good person. And one day I called my daughter the B word, and that broke her, and she was broken with the way that I was, and so I quit drinking, and I haven't drank in 2 years. And I got a box, and I put some cleaning products in it, and I went to go clean a house. And after that, now I have 6 houses that I clean.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to a church, and I got baptized in that church just a couple months ago. And now I am the custodian of the church and the daycare.
Oh, wow, look at you.
And so I know I work from 8 to 8, and
Whoa.
I'm just like, I started my own little business. It's not a lot of money, but I'm busy. I'm distracted, and I'm grateful, and I'm happy now.
And you're doing something that
that's
gives
a
you
great thing.
purpose. That's great, Gabriella.
Yes.
Can I ask
I'm
you?
so glad I got to share that.
May I ask you, how old were you, or how old was your daughter when you had that outburst?
My daughter was only 23 years old. This was just 2 years ago, and it was the worst feeling of my life when the next day she told me I said that, and I didn't even remember.
Oh, no.
And then she said, you say that every time you drink, and I was like, my goodness, and I love her like you have no idea.
Yeah.
And it just broke my heart that such a good little girl who's now a mother of 2 and worked so hard that I disrespected her in such a manner. It was just, I haven't, even the smell of alcohol now upsets me so much because of that.
I'm glad that you've changed.
Well, everybody has to have that moment, right? Don't they say that with
Yeah.
addiction? You have a moment that just snaps you into a reality check, and that
It
was your
sure
moment.
did.
And look, like you
sure
said,
did.
your job of cleaning houses or being the custodian, like in your words, you said it's not a lot of money, but you look what it's doing for you. It has freed you and
It
given you a
has
purpose.
changed me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
priceless there.
Yes.
That is priceless. Thank
I
you
always
so
say,
much,
I'm glad
Gabriella.
It took,
for
it
listening to
took
our
a few
show.
years to get on the show, but
I'm glad
What
you
a
got
way
on.
to do it. Look
Yeah.
at you now, Gabriella. Big hug from the Roula and Ryan Show. That's fantastic.
Have you ever heard this? I got to the best possible place the worst possible way.
Yeah, it's
yeah. That's,
some people would not prefer to go that way, but yeah, sometimes you don't know what the road's going to lead to. Alyssa is up next at 713-390-KRBE. We're doing Look at Me Now. It's a story of maybe somebody told you, well, this is how life's going to be for you. Don't expect too much. And then you showed them. Hi, Alyssa. Good morning.
Hi, how y'all doing?
We're great. We're
Fantastic.
great.
Feeling
Alyssa, share
inspired
with
today.
us. I know. It's great stories so far. Share yours with us, Alyssa.
Yeah, so when I was born, I actually had infant seizures. So it took a long time for even the doctors to believe that I was having the seizures. My mom and my dad fought tooth and nail that there was just something that was wrong, and they just weren't taking no for an answer. And it was taking months and months just to get into an appointment, to get seen. And so they were just so worried that it was going to be longer standing issues. So they actually filmed me on just so that having a seizure so they could show the doctors, and because nobody was believing them, and so it took that of having to see it. So they filmed it, and they kept that video, and then before they got to their appointment, they had my sister, and my sister is older than me. She was 5 at the time, and so they called her over, and they were like, hey, like, you know how your baby sister, she shakes sometimes, like, we're just going to pray over her really quick. And so they did that, and by the time they got to their appointment, they showed the video, and they were like, but she hasn't had any seizures since we filmed this video. And the doctor was so confused because she was the first doctor that was like, no, this is so clearly infant seizures, and these are not going to go away, and this is going to be her life for the rest of her life. And I actually have not had a seizure since that moment that they prayed over me, and she was so confused, and she was like, whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. And they were like, well, all we did was pray over her. Like, we didn't give her anything. And she was like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And since then, I graduated college in 3 years. I just finished my first year of law school.
Wow.
And I still never had a seizure. So
That's amazing.
It's very wild to me.
wow.
There's nothing more frustrating than telling doctors that this is happening, and they're like,
And it doesn't show
Well,
up.
we'll
or
just
doesn't-
see.
yeah.
But they can only do what they see, you know. And
Right.
But when they
do tests,
see,
they can't do anything.
but by
unless they-
seeing the video,
then they know.
they can diagnose.
Like you take your
things.
car to a shop, like
Exactly.
it's making this noise, and it doesn't do it.
Yes.
Then you leave that
Yeah,
shop, and then
it was definitely a lot for stress for my family, and it was kind of that they just kept trying to call my mom. She was like a nervous mom, and she was like, "I don't think you're understanding. I already have a kid. I have a 5-year-old. I already went through this. Not my first rodeo. I can tell when something's different. So yeah, it's definitely frustrating."
Man,
I gotta-
that's really something else.
I mean, that's a miracle. I got to find out if that was like the Our Father or which one they did.
Or-
What
right.
prayer they used. Like,
Well,
which
yeah.
one works? Which one's...
How?
When I have-
which was the one?
Was it the Hail Mary? Tell me! Try them all.
If y'all
Our
want to go to the
prayer.
listener line, share with us more of your Look at Me Now stories. We don't have time for Sarah, but she had a nursing school professor tell her, "You're never going to make it as a nurse." And now she's a full-time nurse.
And I'm sure that person will
Showed
take credit
them.
for it. See, I inspired you.
I inspired you
Whatever.
to try harder.
I hate that negativity crap.
Yeah.
Help
It's
people
not
out.
a good teaching tool.
713-278-VENT. That's 8368.